when I talk to women that are in the same place I was 20 years ago, I remember that person. I remember my way of thinking, who I used to be, my beliefs, my fears, my dreams. I remember how I used to see my reality and the possibilities I saw available for me. But I also remember one very specific thing about me 20 years ago. I didn't really know how, but I knew deep in my core that there was something else out there for me, that this wasn't it, that the reality I was living in that moment wasn't it. I also knew that for me to be able to become that person and to have the life of abundance that I wanted, I also needed to unbecome the person my surroundings, my family, my friends, and my limited beliefs had created. At that time, I was a single mom with 3 kids, living in an apartment with not enough hours in the day to get everything done. I had a job. Actually, I had 3 jobs. One wasn't enough. Living in a city where I didn't really have anyone but a few friends. So I was pretty lonely. And my only motivation were my girls and wanted something better for them. My days would start really early in the morning, getting the girls ready to go to school, making breakfast, picking up the lunch bags, and out we went to face the world. I would drop them in school, go to my first job, hoping that things would go smoothly. I would run out of work to get the girls at the end of my shift. I would get them from Safekey, which was like an afternoon school program. Sometimes I would be late. Traffic, or maybe they would ask me to finish a project or something at work, and I would have to deal with the judging eyes of some lady waiting outside with my girls, probably judging me because I didn't make it on time. I would get my girls and go to do some facials or something that I needed to get done. I was also doing Mary Kay. Or sometimes I would go and deliver some products. They would be eating a snack in the backseat of my car. We would get home. I would start dinner while they do homework. And my girls were very happy. They had a way of making every situation a fun thing. And I tried to make everything a game too, or an adventure. So laundry, for example, was an opportunity to count socks or learn about colors. I don't know. After dinner, it was bath time, bedtime for them. But my day was not over. I had to clean up, make lunch bags for the day after, check the mail, pay bills, and sit back in my computer to update websites for realtors. That was my third job. Sometimes I would stay until midnight, sometimes later. It would depend. My days were long and pretty much the same every day. Until one day, when I look at the mirror and I ask myself, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? And then I started to wonder and thinking different scenarios in my head. I started to imagine where I would live, what kind of a job I would have, how our house would look like, the backyard, how many shoes I would have, how big the closet would be, what would I wear, the trips I would take with them. And I started to create in my head the person that I wanted to be. That was my motivation. It was my avatar. Then I would be asking myself, who would you love? What would you want? How big would you play? And that was the vision. Because at the end of the day, you can either evolve or repeat. And if you repeat, you're always going to get the same outcome, right? Before that, the conversation with myself was, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I feel defeated. At night, after I was done, I would go to my room and turn the TV on and numb myself with some show that would stop me from thinking, because I was really too tired to think. Until I got to the point where I wasn't going to shrink to fit anymore. I didn't want to be that person anymore. I had to get out of the hamster wheel. I had to grow. I had to make a decision, and nothing was going to stop me. And everything that started in my head was going to be a reality. That's how I learned to manifest my life. It's like if you ask me right now, where do I see myself in 20 years from now? I can tell you exactly how I see myself. I can picture myself in my 70s. I can see myself sitting in a porch in a house on the beach on a winter afternoon with the sunset about to happen. I can even tell you how the chair looks like. I see myself smiling, looking at my daughters, playing with their children in the sand, waving at me, laughing. I can see myself joyful, knowing that I had created that space. I had provided that moment, living in my house, enjoying a reality that I have created, that I had made possible. I see it. And I know I'm going to have it. I have no doubt about it. That's how my brain works, because I refuse to live in fear. I don't want fear. Fear, as you know it, no good for me. It's not an option. Fear is face everything and rise. Take the bull by the horns. I went from fear to desire. And it didn't happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight. There are little micro steps. But those are the steps that bring you closer to the goal. You cannot live for the result. You have to be in the moment. You have to live the journey. And you have to remember the feeling of having that vision. Because the feeling is what is going to connect you with the journey and ultimately bring you to the results. That is how it works. And you have to train your brain like you train any other muscle in your body. I mean, you train your legs because you want to have strong muscles, right? You also have to train your brain. You have to train your brain to see possibilities, to see an outcome, a positive outcome, not to see walls or problems or inconveniences. Another thing that was very important to me, and is still very important to me, is the people that I surround myself with. Who's my tribe? Who's there for me to motivate me, to push me when I'm ready to give up. Because your tribe, the people who is around you right now, is so important. Because that feeling of giving up, of getting tired, those conversations of not having enough, of I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, they'll sneak in. And that was another thing. My relationship with money shifted 180. We are wired to think that wanting money or wanting more make us look, selfish, materialistic. Deep inside, we all know what we want. But sometimes we are afraid to even say it out loud. We're afraid to be judged, to be labeled. So we don't pursue it. We all know what we need to do. We just need to get the courage to take the first step. We need to be ready to expand. We need to be ready to match the vibration that's going to bring us to that that is meant for us. Nobody is going to come and knock at the door and say, "Hey, nice to meet you. I heard you want to have a life of abundance. I'm here to help you." That's not going to happen. Sorry to break it to you. You need to want it badly. Kind of like the butterfly in the cocoon. You need to break through so you can fly. You really need to break through. You need to say, I'm going to do this, and I am going to do it because I know in my gut that there is something better for me, that I deserve better, and I'm going to go for it. You need to shift your mindset from, I can do this, to, I'm making this shit happen, period. That's how it works. I knew this life that I am living right now was available for me. I knew it. I didn't know how. I didn't know the how, the steps. I didn't know all this 20 years ago. I know now. I knew it was available, and I knew that I would take. That's how it works. I knew this life I'm living right now was available for me. I didn't know the how, but I knew it was available. And I knew that it would take commitment and discipline from my part to create the life that I am enjoying right now. So no more excuses. You also have what it takes. You just have to make the decision to learn the tools, to keep on moving forward, even if it is 1 inch at a time. And I promise you, one day you are going to look around and you will see the life that you're living is the life that once upon a time, you dreamed about. Hey, beautiful soul. If you're standing on a crossroad, feeling lost, or even overwhelmed by life's juggling act, know that you're not alone. I've been there, and I understand. Let's navigate this journey together, rediscovering your why and creating a life filled with balance and purpose. Click the link below to connect with me, and let's start your transformative journey towards abundance. Remember, you deserve to live your most empowered life. Let's make it happen together. Thank you all for listening to the Don't Shrink to Fit podcast. If you like this episode, please write a juicy comment below and subscribe to my podcast. Remember, we can only fly if we embrace each other. Until next week, be happy, be safe, and be kind to yourself.